Jessica Hackers here for Thrifty Thursday, and I love that you always incorporate some upcoming events or holidays. I think it's a holiday on Monday, right?
Yes, it's National Waffle Day.
That's definitely a time to celebrate.
Known?
Yeah, I want waffle. Now, before we get to the waffles, though, there's a meal ingredient that some people like to have with their waffles.
That's right.
Chicken.
Yeah, you got to have chicken, but I'm kind of putting a little different twist, making a white chili. It's a white chicken chili. It's delicious. You really love it. So it's super easy. The first thing you got to think about, though, is your beans. Obviously, that's going to be one of the main ingredients of it. And this is the area where you can save a fortune.
Okay.
Go with dry beans. Put in just a little more effort to do the dry beans. Dry beans will cost about 80 cents a pound, where cans, if you get it on an amazing deal, maybe 50, 60 cents a can. Well, it takes 4 cans to make a pound of what dry is going to do.
So yeah, you're saving a ton if you do it that way.
Yes, a ton of money.
So how long do they need to soak, though, if you get the dry ones?
Just do them overnight.
Okay.
Yep. And I mean, if you're going to put it in your crock pot and let it cook all day, you honestly can put them in the morning dry and let them cook all day. But they're going to need at least 8 hours and probably need to cook it on medium or high.
And you can go ahead and add the other ingredients with the beans while they're still dry?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, something I didn't know there.
You can. Just make sure you rinse them, get them clean, but otherwise just soak them overnight.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I went ahead and I just soaked them in my crock pot, just might as well.
So these have been soaked, or these are the dry ones? So these have been soaked already this morning then?
Yep, and I've taken out most of the water out of it. I'm actually using a dehydrated onions is what I put in there, but of course just do a normal onion if you want.
I like the dehydrated ones because they don't get crunchy. I don't like the crunchy onions.
Yeah, so they're perfect for this. So say you have your beans in there. And then I'm just putting 2 cans of chicken broth.
So you are returning some liquid to there.
Yep.
So
add some other flavor.
Worth it to get that water out of there.
And at this point, when you do that, you can either, of course, I'm using chicken that I froze from some of the roasted chickens we've done on previous shows. Yeah. But otherwise, you could put a whole chicken in there raw, or even about 4 chicken breasts raw, and just stick them in there and let them cook. And they're going to cook down when you come home. Listen, mine's already shredded, but if you're doing the raw chicken in there, when you come home, you just want to take the chicken out and shred it and put it back in. Yeah,
okay. So the shredded chicken in the freezer, of course, if you've already done something else, just remember that. Put it in, and so this was the equivalent, though, like you said, of 4 chicken breasts or a whole chicken.
Yep, about a whole chicken.
We're also adding some things to spice it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, you got to give it a little flavor. So this would be cooking all day. Then when you come home, you want to do a verde sauce, whether you're buying one or like this one.
And you made this one, obviously.
This one's been canned by my parents, so it's absolutely amazing.
And the verde sauce just has that smell that makes you know that it's the chicken chili. I love that smell.
And then to add the cream to it, we're going to do some cream cheese.
You use the whole brick for it?
I do. Okay. Yep.
And this, of course, gives it the chili consistency that you want.
Right.
I've made some in the past where it turned out okay, but it was more soupy than I wanted. But I'm assuming this will help with that.
Yes, it will, especially with you're getting rid of the majority of the liquids. And just stick this in there and just kind of bury it down in there, and then go ahead and put your the lid back on it and let it continue just to kind of cook and simmer down while you're working on the other end, the waffle.
Yeah, the waffles, which we're going to get to in about half an hour here. And of course, if you want, you can top it with, the sliced jalapenos, sour cream, whatever you want.
Whatever you like on it.
I like some cheese on the top of there.
There you go.
Okay, so we're going to let this cook then, and we'll start up the other half, the waffles, when we come back. Thanks a lot, Jessica. Welcome back, everybody. Still being thrifty here on Thursday with Jessica, the coupon hacker, of course, from livingonacoupon.com. Thanks so much for joining us this week with something that ties into Monday, National Waffle Day.
That's right. Yeah, so do something a little different. Not all of us get the luxury on a Monday morning to do breakfast waffles, like we know. So it's kind of, I guess, a little spin on chicken and waffles.
Yeah, chicken and waffles, which I hear about. I've even seen it on the IHOP menu recently. I haven't tried, the straight chicken and the sweet waffles, but this is a little different. We made the chicken chili, the white chili earlier.
Yes.
Now we need to round it out with the waffles.
Yep, that's right. And cornbread is so cheap to make. Whether you choose to make it homemade or you buy the Jiffy, either one, really, they're comparable. It's going to cost you about 50 cents to make a batch. It's
50 cents.
Super cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. You can follow the recipe. Of course, just buy cornmeal. There's always a recipe on the back. Follow that.
And I'm assuming it's going to be all the stuff that you already have at home, the eggs, the baking powder, all that stuff, right?
It's just basic stuff. Mix it up in your bowl. And make your waffles.
And you already had one going here as well, right?
You can pull that out if you want to.
Which is awesome because you said, it looks just like a waffle, and I like your serving suggestion for this.
Yes, this is where it really kind of ties in and becomes fun. So you've got your cornbread waffle. You can go ahead and put your soup, your chili, right on top of it.
Oh, nice.
So it makes it fun, and then of course, I said, you can put some jalapenos.
Do you want some jalapenos? And I like the shredded cheese and everything on top of there.
Yep, you can totally just, and then it's fun. They said shredded cheese, whatever it is that you really like,
Just add it on top, and you've got a whole little meal there. And you were talking about about 50 cents for a batch of the cornbread. If you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and make another one here. What is the total cost breakdown for the entire meal? Because we know you saved the money for even a family of 6.
Oh, I know. It ends up being extremely cheap. I mean, you're talking, a couple dollars. I mean, gosh, whatever you think of the whole bill is right around $8 or something.
Right around $8. That includes both the chicken stuff and the waffles, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, if you have, don't have a lot of time on your hands, you can still make this stuff ahead of time. You were telling me also that you often just make this to put in the freezer, right? The chili, I mean.
Yeah, I do. This is when after you've soaked your beans, before you finish heating everything up, especially if you've already got your chicken that's cooked that way, just go ahead and bag it up right then and freeze it.
Nice.
And then that way when you pull it out, you just throw it in, and let the beans continue to cook, or even whatever's left over, you can still freeze it. It freezes really well. And it's kind of nice. And obviously, it makes a huge batch.
And I think you and I have agreed that, one day spent in the kitchen making a lot of meals that you throw in the freezer certainly makes it worth it when you have, a couple weeks worth of stuff that you don't have to cook.
Yep, absolutely. It's like this, when it's cold days and you've already got that in your freezer, you just pull it out, throw it in the crock pot, throw it in the frozen. You got a break, throw it in there.
Awesome.
It'll be ready when you come home.
Awesome. So livingonacoupon.com is Jessica's website. You can get coupons there and find these recipes. We'll also have it posted for you at idahoonyourside.com.